Welcome back to yet another exciting chapter in the history of the little commonwealth that could, which is us, born out of the victory of Napoleon and then shaped into the second greatest power on earth, and perhaps, probably not the greatest power on earth. At least in our country, we are the greatest. And actually, we're not that far away from becoming the greatest. France only has 3,949 points, and we have 3,668. We can do it, maybe. I'm not going to promise anything, but it is possible to make the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth the greatest country on earth. At least in this episode, the main goal will be to correct the mistake that is Slovakia, at least half of Slovakia. The little line over here that belongs to Czechoslovakia for whatever reason. Just, an oversight in the diplomatic community. So, what will we do then? We will just start time and see what happens. We only have about 13 or so years until the game ends. And this is honestly one of those games that have been going better than expected. Better than expected. We have some elections coming up. Over here we probably will have the Stronnictwo Patriots Liberal Party. The Liberal Party. It's easier to say that way. I don't even know how to start to pronounce that. Same thing with this. I've mentioned that before, but it's just not my kind of thing. I'm not able to. We have Nazi Germany on the 5th place, or Nazi North German Federation. Sort of a covered Prussia, but Prussia is alone, so I don't know. I don't even know what they're trying to do. They're still allied with the Russian Empire, which also turns into fascist dictatorship. So fascism is fairly entrenched in the world, as we know it. Do we still have we do still have the People's Republic of Rome, which is very fun. I've been meaning to switch over. I've been considering this over my lengthy... I've been to Italy over here, into this little province literally this province and also this one, for a few weeks. And during that time, beyond just eating good Italian food, I've been considering, I usually just go with these. Let me show you. These army composition. Like 39,000 men each. And it will be 1 hussar, 5 artillery, 1 engineer, and 6 infantry. For some reason, that has become my favorite, or default build. It's not a very efficient one though, and I'm quite well aware of the fact that it's not the most efficient one in the world. For example, a hussar and an engineer will each give recon efficiency and siege efficiency for about 10 brigades in total. And this one is using more than that. So if we had, for example, the ones we have way over here, we have 100% recon efficiency and 100% siege efficiency on an army of 30,000 men. However, this colonial army also has an issue in that it only has fewer artillery, and for some reason I decided to go with more infantry and a bit less artillery than we could have gone with. But if we do, for example, an army like, I don't know, we pick 4 of these. We pick 4 of these. 4, I said. 1 engineer, and then throw in, I don't know, a bloody airplane. Why not? We have now 10 brigades, which will equal 30,000 men in total, and will be a fairly effective fighting force. But in my opinion, you going with different army compositions in Victoria 2 is a matter of personal taste. I mean, you can go with whatever you want. You have to choose on your own what you prioritize. For example, I don't want anyone to reach my artillery. That's why I have more infantry than artillery, because I want, when my infantry is slaughtered, I want my artillery to be covered. I don't want them to be exposed to enemy attack by, for example, hussars or enemy infantry. I want them to be well protected so they can murder all my foes. At least that's my idea behind it. I can justify, for example, the lack in recon efficiency and siege efficiency by just protecting my artillery. I can justify the fact that I will have fewer armies in total due to having a larger size for that reason too. I can justify that my armies in the beginning will most likely take attrition in some provinces due to them being a bit too big before you get to research them, for that reason. Overall, I think, honestly, if you want to be fairly effective, I think the 4-4-1-1, which is 4 infantry, 4 artillery, 1 hussar and 1 engineer, is a very, very solid strategy to go with. You have more armies, you don't take as much attrition, even in, for example, these provinces. You might take some, but it would be a lot. You can easily combine them and divide them. There will be 30,000 men each, which is a very easy number to do head math with, unlike 39,000 men, which will then turn into 78,000 men, and so forth. So overall, I really do like the 30,000 men, but for some reason 39,000 men seems like a better deal. I don't know why. But next series I do, whichever one it will end up being, whichever country it might end up being, whichever mod it might end up being in, I will try to use the 30,000 one, and hopefully not forget my solemn pledge right here. In such case, you are free to hunt me down and, well, I don't know what you would do. Say hi, perhaps? Maybe that would make me remember? I don't know. Oh well, now I at least got that out of my system. Let's take a look at our armies now, post everything else that's been happening. We do have a massive, brilliant and astonishing empire, and I'm so proud of what has been achieved. And now we have a lot of things to achieve besides that. Well, let's go for modern divisional structure. It's either that one or going for limited access roads. Limited access roads would not be bad. Getting the additional railroad will be very helpful. Making sure our factories will keep up with everything else. So it's a noble goal to pick that one. But I'm really proud of what our dear government has managed to do. Speaking of government, and speaking of this game overall, there's a game coming out in a few days. I don't know if you have heard of it, but maybe you have, called Urban Empire. And I'm quite looking forward to that. It has quite a few elements that I would enjoy. Honestly, it tickles my fancy quite a bit. So it's a city building game of sorts. A bit like City Skylines, I suppose, or, you know, just SimCity, I guess. Oh, Imperial Civil War against the British Empire. That's something I would like to participate in which you are tasked to build a city, and unlike most other, I guess, you start at a very early date, so you pretty much start, this is basically Victoria 2 version of it. So you start in let's say 1836 or a bit before that, and you are tasked with building a city. I believe it's somewhere here. Dalmatia, you know, Croatia, perhaps Istria, I don't know exactly where. Italy is a bit mentioned, and you're setting like the Austrian Empire. How many places are set in the Austrian Empire? Like, that's one of the main reasons I really liked Battlefield 1. It's because I can play as the goddamn Austro-Hungarian Empire, or at least a soldier in that part in the war, and I can play as Italy in an FPS game. When was the last time you could play Italy in an FPS game? Anyway, I'm getting a bit caught off track, off topic. Anyway, so you're tasked with building a city somewhere here, and then you start building it, and you get people in it, and you have to contend with, you know, parties and parliament, and if you want to build a big structure using financial funds, you need to make it pass through pass through the Congress, whatever, parliament, and you have to sway them to go with your thoughts, and you will advance through time, and new parties will arise, and each party has their own set amount of you know, you will have votes and everything like that, so the parties' popularity will shift, they all have different agendas they will push through, and all of that seems incredibly intriguing. So it's more like, oh, let's take a bit of the politics from this game, set it in about the same era, and reference a bunch of things like being in, like there's a flag of Austria-Hungary hanging in like the Congress room. That's, I mean, that triggers me. And I mean, don't mean trigger in a bad way, as in, no, that really offends me. No, that really tickles my fancy. It triggers my fancy. That's probably a better expression. Triggers my fancy. So I'm heavily looking forward to that. It will be in a few days from this video's release. So probably we'll see that on the channel. At least I hope I will be able to. Oh well, now with all of that done and said and done, we have call ally to war. The nation of Finland, your faithful ally, is requesting that you come to their aid in the Swedish conquest of northern Finland against Sweden. Oh well. Sweden, the fascist dictatorship, against Finland, also fascist dictatorship. So I guess we will have to help out our dear pals, the Finns. We have one army that is ready to march to Helsinki immediately. We have another army that is quite willing to go to Kotka, which I haven't really heard of. I haven't really heard of that place before. I know Viipuri. I know Turku. Vasa, sure. Oulu, sure. I mean, but Kotka? No. No. I have heard Tampere as well. And what else? Well, everyone has heard of Tornio. At least you should. So where are the Swedes? They're way up there. Finns seemingly are getting more men. They even launched an attack on Stockholm itself, or at least close enough. Uppsala. Close enough. Perhaps going all the way over there would be advantageous, who knows. Anyway, we are going straight for the assault on the Swedish forces, and it's going pretty bad in the beginning. I mean, who can stand up to the Swedish fascists? Apparently not our troops. Oh well. I guess we will have to send reinforcements. This is a pretty bad engagement. Probably a bad engagement from the start. Well. I don't think they can stand up to all of these. Holy shit, they're murdering us. Why? I mean, it's only -1 for terrain. Did you have an excellent general? I kinda do. But I don't see why. Is their research much better than ours? Is that something that's been going on? Wait, let's see. 26 out of 30. That's the same level we are at. This is not acceptable. These losses are not acceptable. Holy shit! Oh well, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And when I say pretty bad, I mean really goddamn bad. Holy mother of... Holy... Oh, and the Finns are getting... not their asses beaten. I mean, it's going fairly well for them. Perhaps we should send another army to help the Finns over here. Sounds reasonable. Send them over there to help them out. I mean, this army is actually strong enough to go and help out right now. Oh, being in a winning battle against the Swedes, this feels good. This is what we want to feel. Good feelings. I mean, a really good battle. I will head for Stockholm instead. Let's force this war into... That's scary. Hello, Mr. Army over there. That's... I don't appreciate you existing. You're very scary, honestly. Yep, this is a scary army. Gustav von Otter. Albrecht Ehrenstam. Netherlands offers us an alliance, that's acceptable. Perhaps it will give us a pretext for advancing on France, maybe beat them down a bit, so we can overtake them. Speaking of France, are they extending their lead? In fact, they are not. We are catching up. We could become the greatest power on Earth before this game is over. Wouldn't that be exciting? That would be very exciting, actually. Perhaps we should build more armies. Did I actually end up building that army that I told you myself to build? Yeah, I did actually build that army. I completely forgot about it. We'll have to be way over here. Okay, let's recruit some more armies. That's always a good way of getting more stuff done. And since we can do some airplanes, perhaps we can then do just 8, 12, right? 24, and 1, 2, 3. Yes, and 1, 2, 3. I can count. This is amazing. Okay, 30 brigades more. That should make us be able to reach the French. The French boys. Meanwhile, the battle or the sieging of Sweden is going somewhat alright. Demanding this, for example, it will require up towards 11 infamy. And we don't really have much else. Did I accidentally go for fascist welfare? That was not very wise of me. Should not give the fascists more than they can handle. See, the fascists are 12%. That is fairly alarming, honestly. 3.4% are fascist. I mean, communist. I don't understand why the fascists are even gaining strength. How can they be... Like, how can the people be disappointed in the way I've been ruling my nation? Besides the loss of the army over there, the battle, everything has been going rather well. Rather well. As we are advancing into the heart of Sweden, we're also protecting the capital of Finland, which has a sizable Swedish population. I don't know if they still do. Historically, it does make sense. There's gotta be some Swedes left in Helsinki. Oh well. Oh well. We're grabbing... occupying Norrköping, which is really good. I mean, doesn't matter too much, does it? We have... oh, Kalmar. Nice town. It's a very nice town. Let's make the Kalmar Union happen again. Sounds like a good idea. They have brought back Gustav von Otto. And his whole entire army. Guess they were tired of being over there in Finland. Or maybe they don't want their capital to fall. Which it already had. No! Oh, no. I did it again. I thought it would be done by that day, and then I clicked and realized too late that occupation wasn't done, so you have to start from the beginning, which doesn't make any sense at all, because if I had reached that point where they were so willing to surrender just one more day, then really, if I then decided to go, like one day I decided to walk away, everyone in the city rejoices, saying, oh, the occupation is over, and then they get a report that he's returning back. And for some reason, in that day, they have managed to refill all their stocks of food, they refilled their courage, and decided to stand their ground. So yeah, I'm not too convinced about that. It would be on the list of things to add for the next Victoria, if it ever happens. If it ever happens. There we go. Gothenburg next. Växjö next. Also, Stockholm is falling to the Swedes. Maybe we should negotiate with the Swedes. Maybe they would accept surrender. They would. I have white peace with the Swedes. That's good enough for me. Bring back our armies. And how's it going with the conquest over here of the British Empire? Well, it's not going too well. At least they are managing to transport over troops. That's more than they have ever managed before. Even though the British Empire is clearly outgunning them over here. Who's going to win here? It's the United Nation. Did it really have to take all this time for them to start going down that route? Maybe we'll see a British Union that's taking over everywhere. Oh wait, what happened to the fascists again? Oh, they lost some. That's good. They lost some popularity. That's always nice. Always nice to see. And the armies are growing. How's the score going? We are 100 points behind them. 100 points. Oh, Captain Picard. Nice to see you. Where exactly is Picard again? It must gotta be over here in Picardy. Dunkirk. Yes, I didn't know that it counted as their own separate culture. Though honestly, I don't know too much about this region. Besides Dunkirk being there, and also I remember when I hadn't heard Dunkirk having been pronounced before, and I saw it in I think it was the French spelling with all the Q's, whatever it is. I pronounced it at first with Dunkirk Q, which in hindsight, I mean, British, I don't know, the British-French way of ignoring certain things, like I don't know, Oxfordshire. Wait, that's not too bad. There's got to be someone that's worse. Gloucestershire, yeah, Gloucestershire, stuff like that. And the French do the same thing, but with more words. Oh shit. I mean, come on, militant socialist. Why are you against me? I am but a nice person. Oh, 23 prestige. Thank you very much. That should go a long way with fixing France. So, one of the main issues I have right now, or we have right now, is that Czechoslovakia is allied with Japan. And you might think, well, that's not really a big deal, is it? Well, probably won't be, but who knows? The Japanese might land 1 million men. Or they might not. Don't know yet. God damn it. I really do wish there was a way to eliminate these pop-ups, but specifically for rebels. Fortunately, there's not. Unfortunately, there's not. But they're all done now. Perhaps, why are they so mad? Like they're gaining... Are they gaining? No, they're losing strength. Well, that's good. But I mean, the Polish-Lithuanian communists are everywhere, and people are getting all kinds of mad. Just, you know, we can pass something if it calms them down. I'm fine with that. We can become a socialist paradise if that's what's needed to keep the people calm. Oh well. We now have... Well, we still have to wait a fair bit. So it probably won't happen in this episode, unfortunately. I apologize for this brutal lie. Brutal lie, but soon enough, when we reach 24, and when I say 24, I mean 14. When we reach 14 infamy, then we can definitely head for war with Czechoslovakia. The problem right now is that we're still at war with the damn British Union. No, the British Empire, doesn't matter. We're at war with some British people. And that war is going to last quite a while. It's definitely going to last a while. Don't want to go in 1 year draft. I kind of want to increase draft, honestly. Holy shit. They really do love being in this war. I don't think there's any way of this war being resolved. They're just too strong in their own land. Maybe if they, you know, developed, I don't know, the atom bomb or something. Maybe then it could work. But at this point, it's just gonna take forever. Napoleonic Spain. I forgot about that. Napoleonic Spain. It would be wonderful to see Corsica being free, but that's not really going to happen. And Albania. Albania is being its... Oh no, this is Greater Albania, some kind of style. So I'm quite proud of Albania. Good job. Don't you have... Isn't this... I don't know, Kosovo? If so, good job. Good job on reclaiming your land, your homeland or whatever. Heavy armament to improve the artillery, always decent. 1 year draft. I still want the 12-hour workday, for example. Oh, we are the greatest power on Earth! And now we have the Heart of Darkness, which is pretty bad. And it was only when I saw how they treated them that I... Wait. There was this one chat... was something. As we are in major shock, some stuff has happened in our colonial territory. Things are bad. Even though I do like this flag here, and yeah, this looks pretty good. I do like it. It looks like it's waving a bit here. We will either do this or this. There's no real point in losing 20 prestige, but we will take one infamy. And that's not too good. But we have passed France, and we have done so barely. Hopefully we can continue to pass France even in the future. Though that's not certain. We have passed them mainly due to our prestige, but our industry continues to grow. I mean, for example, Silesia is an industrial powerhouse. I'm very proud of Silesia and what it means to be... I mean, what it means to us. Look at the amount of people here. Maybe it's the Germans, maybe it's just the mix that has created a situation where more people are willing or harder working. I don't know. Denmark is probably fearing invasion from the fascist Swedes who have shown themselves to not be above giving in to their militaristic ambitions. I mean, they've already taken north of Norway, so to the Swedes, what would taking the south of Norway be? It would just be an appetizer. Well, we got more navies attack. I'm sensing that the world is drawing to a new war. I don't know who will instigate this war. Maybe it will be our doing. Maybe it will be someone else. Maybe it will be the fascists that decide to band together for greater strength and glory. Union... Yeah. No. Sure, I'd rather take more socialists than I would take reactionaries at this point. would just be better that way. So, how's the army going? The army is done. We can make it so. Honestly, with these armies, it would probably be better if you simply made them... If you're making a bunch of them and you're not making 2, you should make 4 of them so you can just easily divide them up and then divide them again. So here we just split in half and then we spread them out. We have a lot of armies in Egypt. A lot of armies. A lot of cool armies. I still don't know how we're not the greatest military power on Earth. Who is? It's probably China, isn't it? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong... No, it's British Union. That's interesting. Did they unify? They did unify. Holy shit, they did. That's pretty impressive. So now there's no British Empire anymore, it's only the British Union. Which puts Ireland into a more precarious situation. Dutch-North German War of Honor against North German Federation. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah. Oh my. North German Federation and the Russian Empire. Well, I mean, France... If we don't join, we will lose prestige. But if we do join, we're in for one hell of a war. One god hell of... Decline. We lose the prestige. We take the prestige hit. And we're still ahead. And we're growing. So, I'm sorry, Netherlands. You're not gonna push us into a two-front war for no reason. And with declining our ally to... Basically, by denying our ally access to... Let me begin from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning even better. After now having declined to help our ally, as we have promised to do, I think it's time to leave and end this chapter of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. We'll come back soon with the exciting continuation of really the Commonwealth and the conclusion probably to the Commonwealth's really brilliant and grand history. And in that episode, in the next episode, I really do hope we can actually take the part of Slovakia that we are missing. So, tune in for that. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time.